Hey everyone, George here. So if you're a construction contractor that flips houses or thinking about getting into flips, you need to watch this video because I've seen guys do everything right, find the deal, bust their butt on the rehab, sell it for a profit, and then they look and realize that almost half the profit is gone. Today I'm going to break down why flips get taxed so hard, what the BRRRR strategy changes, and how contractors can legally keep more of their money. And we're going to walk through one example with a conventional flip and the same exact example with a BRRRR strategy. So let's get started. So let's start with a real world example. Say you buy a property for $700,000, your rehab costs are $150,000, so your total cost basis is $850,000. You do a great job, great finish, beautiful neighborhood, good comps, and you sell it for $1 million. Now, initially you think my profit is $150,000, so the $1 million sales price minus $850,000 all-in cost basis. So you're feeling pretty good. Then the IRS enters, and this is exactly why the IRS loves house flips, because they treat it like ordinary income. Not capital gains, not investor income. It's treated like you're running a business selling inventory. So that $150,000 gain you had gets hit number one with federal income tax, and let's assume a tax rate of 24%. State income tax, let's say 9%. And here's the big one, self-employment taxes entered the mix since it's ordinary income. So that's 15.3%. So now right off the bat, we have 24 plus 9 plus 15, and that's 48%. So about half of your gains will be wiped out in tax already. So let's do the math real quick. So if your profit was $150,000 at roughly 48%, that's $72,000 in taxes. So really you're only left with $78,000 in profit. So let that sink in. You did the deal, you took the risk, you ran the rehab, managed the subs, bought materials, dealt with delays, and after all that, you're left with $78,000 in profit. I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but if you're expecting to keep the 150, I mean, you're in for a bad day. And the worst part, I've run into the situation where contractors will take the full 150K profit and roll it into their next deal without actually paying in their estimated taxes, thinking that if they reinvest, the tax will go down. And that's not at all the case. The IRS doesn't care what you do with it. The profit is profit, and that's just a tax bill. So this is where the BRRRR strategy comes in. And it really is a game changer with respect to your taxes. Same property, same rehab, same value. But instead of selling it, you BRRRR it. So BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. And with this strategy, here's what changes. Instead of selling it for $1 million, you refinance based on the $1 million value. So let's say your appraisal comes in for $1 million and you get a 75% loan to value. So your refinance proceeds are $750,000. So you get a $750,000 cash out refi. So the great thing is that $750,000 is loan proceeds, so it's completely non-taxable. And that's basically the foundation of the whole BRRRR strategy. With the flip, you sell and the profit becomes taxable immediately. With BRRRR, you refinance, you access the value, and you don't trigger any tax. So you can take that cash, buy your next property, do your next rehab, and keep scaling without triggering a 47%, 48% tax. And it gets better than that. Here's where the BRRRR gets unfair. Now it's a rental property, so you get depreciation deduction, potential cost segregation, interest expense deduction, and operating expense deductions, and rental income is usually not hit with self-employment tax, the same way your contracting business is. So now you're not just avoiding the flip tax hit, you're also building cash flow, deductions, and long-term appreciation. And a lot of people ask, how long do I have to rent it out? So there's no hard and fast answer. There's no 3-month rule or 6-month rule. It comes down to intent, facts, and behavior. Did you actually rent it, have a lease, list it at market rent, operate like a landlord? If you rent it out for just 2 weeks, just to say you did, that might be a little risky. But if you rent it out like a real rental, it will be a whole different story. So here's the takeaway. If you flip houses, you can make pretty good money. But the IRS taxes flips like an active business. That can easily mean 47, 48%. But the BRRRR strategy gives contractors another path, and definitely a more tax efficient one. It gives you access to cash tax-free, reduced taxes using depreciation, and building wealth long-term. So I hope you found this helpful. If any of this applies to you, our booking link is down in the show notes, and see you in the next one.